If you are craving certainty, it might be because you have too much uncertainty, too much variety. If you are craving variety, it could be because you're riding the lightning too much on having just regimented certainty, specifics, clarity all the time. Maybe doing a little deload quickly, right? Alan has his movie night. I'll have my UFC night.
Have a minimum and make sure the minimum is sustainable, where you can check the box and say, yes, I showed up. And then if we're feeling good, sometimes this happens. The other night, she's like, let's do an hour. It's like, awesome. Empty gym, feeling good. Let's rock. But at least we hit our minimum every day.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed yesterday's episode. It was episode number 1519, one important lesson about vulnerability. Today, for episode number 1520, happy Tuesday. Being consistent is so much easier when you understand this. The trials and tribulations of Kevin's fitness journey continue with today's episode. Probably the most consistent streak I've been on in a hot minute. Not quite Alan's 680 or 650 or 700 day streak or whatever it is.
620 as of yesterday.
So not quite as consistent as that.
So when I say coming up on 700,
you're rounding up and then rounding up again.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But I do know we will get to 700, so I wouldn't say that unless I'm kind of being playful when I say coming up on 700.
Yeah. I wasn't at 700, but I was pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was crushing the gym, and I was crushing mobility, and everything was awesome. And then something happened. My shoulder, it's not even that shoulder, it's the shoulder. Something happened. My shoulder's a little wonky. This is the shoulder I got surgery on when I was younger. I don't think it's anything too serious, but it has drastically limited/affected my consistency. So much to the point, my alarm clock went off at 5 a.m. today, and I laid there in bed, and I was thinking, well, am I going to go to jiu-jitsu? Should I go to the gym and lift? If I go to the gym and lift, what should I do? I'm not going to do shoulders because that'll hurt. I could do chest, but that's probably going to hurt too. Maybe I could do arms. I could do back. Oh, sleeping. Sleeping again. Gone. Took me back to the dreamland. Woke up probably 10, 15 minutes later. Same conversation. Well, what am I going to do is the thing. The thing is, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do at the gym. I don't know if I'm going to regret going to jiu-jitsu. Is it going to hurt my shoulder worse? Should I just keep resting? I've rested for a week. I don't really want to rest anymore. I need to make a freaking decision. Then I ended up going back to sleep until 6:30. So being consistent is so much easier when you understand this. You understand the specifics of what you're doing. If you want to be consistent, you got to understand the specifics, because if there's any easy out, we might find it. When I knew I'm waking up at 5, I'm going to the gym, and this is the workout routine I'm going to do, then I'm going to do cardio, I didn't miss. It was completely different. I don't even know how to explain it. I feel so much less strong with my decision-making right now than I did 2 weeks ago, where I'm making excuses of, well, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? When before it was my alarm clock goes off, I get up, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I go do it, and I go execute. I'm not doing that right now. So what would serve me is tonight, before I go to bed, and I'm not saying this is what you should do because this could be reckless, I don't know. But tonight, before I go to bed, I'm going to decide tomorrow I'm going to get up at this time, and this is the activity I'm going to do. I'm either going to go to jiu-jitsu, or I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to do back. And we'll see. If it hurts, I will work around it. If it hurts at jiu-jitsu, I won't do anything crazy after. I'll just drill. To the point the other day, Alan, I got up and I went for a run. I told you. The last time I went for a run intentionally, and I wasn't running from something, was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. I'm not somebody I don't really enjoy running. But my shoulder was hurting me, and I didn't know what else to do. So I went to a path that's like 10 minutes away. It was early. It was cold, but it's fall in New England, so it was beautiful. And I said, I'm going to go for a run, see what happens. Didn't hurt me. There was some certainty there. I knew in my mind, well, this won't hurt me. So that's what I ended up doing. No bears down there. No bears. Yeah, it's
New Hampshire?
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
it's black bears.
It's in the middle of the city. I'm not too worried about the bears there.
Okay.
Yeah. And black bears, if you get again, not to minimize a bear, but if it's a black bear, you're supposed to fight back. They don't like that. If it's a brown bear, you're supposed to lay down and play dead, because you might end up that way. If it's a polar bear, I don't know what you're supposed to do, because those things are crazy, terrifying.
Definitely.
So a little bear activity in today's episode. But that is my early next level nugget for this episode. The level of your specificity, I think, will help with the level of your consistency. That is my early next level nugget.
Sorry, man. Just getting into it. What jumped off the page for me, as I rudely interrupt you, clarity. How clear are you? Emilia and I yesterday, Sunday. If you're listening to this, it's Tuesday, so this is this past Sunday. She said, I feel like, I'm number one, I'm very grateful. I'm kitchen man. I do all the dishes. I do all of the meals. I prep our meals. And by prep our meals, I take food out of the Instapot and the rice cooker, really. But at the end of the day, I'm in charge of the kitchen. I'm the kitchen man. Said kitchen man. And so it's automated for her. It's done. It's delegated. Don't worry about it. Just show up. Eat the food. It's going to be great. And you can obviously have input. Like, I'll ask her, what do you want for takeout? And we have a couple things we roll through. And on Sunday, she says, I really want to learn this because I have been running macros, micronutrients, and calories. I know what her calories are. I know how to help her fit them. I know how much protein she needs. I know the allocating of the micros, proteins, carbs, fats. So before I get into any of that, the point is she said, every Sunday, can we just real quick run through the week? So I was in front of the whiteboard. I put Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to the following Sunday. And I said, okay, so today's Sunday. We're eating leftovers. We had leftovers Domino's. Awesome. Then we have C and R, chicken and rice, and then we're going to get takeout on Wednesday. So Monday and Tuesday are going to be chicken and rice. And then we're going to get takeout Tuesday, and then we're going to do Thursday, Friday, chicken and rice, and then Saturday night we're going to get sushi. And then Sunday is actually my birthday celebration, which is going to be awesome. And
you have a banana split? What are you going to have? Was it a banana split last year?
Yeah, 2 years in a row, actually. Good memory. Kev always remembers food.
Of course.
Of course. Big food lovers. So I actually didn't even think of the banana split, to be honest. So what I wanted to do was a Hobbit marathon. So the Hobbit movies extended versions are very, very long, and so I'm going to see if we can do all three back to back. It's like a 12-hour day. I'm literally already kind of freaking out about it, to be honest. So speaking of clarity, when you go into the week knowing what you're eating, knowing what workouts you're doing, here's another piece, fitness. We do a walk and then weights, walk, weights, walk, weights. We're alternating. So we're weight training every other day. And in the calendar, she asked me, she said, can you start putting in parentheses what we did so that I can understand the rotation? Because I'm doing all this in my head. She always asks me, well, what's today? It's push. And she's like, what's today? It's pull. Oh, it's legs. And it can get confusing because technically, okay, so for example, tonight's a walk. Tomorrow is going to be push because Sunday was legs. And so the last time we did push was 6 days ago. So you only do the same muscle groups every 6 days. And she asked me, she's like, are we overtraining? No, definitely not. Because we have 6 days in between training the same muscle groups. So the last time we did chest, which is push, chest and shoulders, and triceps, is 6 days ago. So we have plenty of rest in between. Don't worry about it. But so here's my point. I gave her clarity, not so much that she has to worry about it, but at least enough to where now she knows, okay, we're getting takeout on Wednesday, we're getting sushi on Saturday. So she can go into her week with more certainty. Uncertainty is the enemy to being consistent. That's why self-belief is so important. What is the opposite of self-belief? Uncertainty. I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I know how to do this. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to learn this. I'm not sure I'm making the right moves. And so clarity is the solution more than people realize. As a matter of fact, in my coaching, I often say that. One of the reasons why you've gained momentum is I've just been injecting clarity. Sometimes my clients will say, I can't wait for these calls. I feel so invigorated after. Really what they're saying underneath all that is I went off and I executed for a couple weeks, and I got kind of lost in the sauce, and I need another clarity call. I need another injection of certainty. I need to know for a fact that I'm doing the right things. Another client said, I need a fitness check-in. Another client said, I need a finance check-in. I always ask intentions before my calls. Usually the intention is, hey, I want to work on XYZ because I'm uncertain in XYZ.
I would venture to guess that Taryn and I have the best date days / date weekends when they're scheduled ahead of time. We were yesterday, so Sunday, we were going to go visit my mom in Memes. And she ended up, Taryn said, hey, I got invited to go somewhere by some of my friends. Do you mind if I go? Because Sunday's usually our day. We usually do date day. And I said, no, you're good. You don't even have to ask. Go do your thing. You're good. You never have to ask me. She said, well, I just want to be respectful. I know it's our date day. I said, I will always choose you going out with your friends. That's important to me. And I said, we'll figure it out when you get home. We'll figure it out whether we're going to go. We'll just figure something out. It's no biggie. And she called me on her way home, and she's like, so what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. You're a little bit later than I expected, and I know you're later than you expected. I feel like you want to just hang out. Is that true? Do you just want to hang out? She said, yeah, I don't know if I really want to be in the car for an hour. And I said, yeah, I don't really either. She's like, well, what are we going to do if we stay home? And I said, I don't know. This is a dangerous game. We might just end up watching something. And she said, well, okay, maybe we'll end up watching something. We ended up watching something.
Nice.
But that if we had a specific date, okay, this is what I'm going to do from 9 to 12. You're going to get home at 12. We're going to leave at 12:15. We're going to be here by 1. Odds of us, we're way more invested in the experience.
Mm-hmm.
We've put time, effort, energy, and focus into actually creating this outcome. And when you're specific, you can work on the scheduling piece of it. You can say, I'm going to get up at 5. I'm going to be at this place at whatever time. So for me, if I get up at 5, I'm usually at the gym by 5:30. Awesome. I'll be at the gym until 6:45. Awesome. I'll be home at 7. I'll shower. I'll be in the office by 7:15. And I'm going to have almost 4 hours of back office time before I do anything. Today, when I woke up, I didn't have any of that. It was mayhem. I didn't have any certainty because I didn't have any clarity, and I didn't have a very consistent start to my day. So we've talked many times about overthinking. I'm not saying that you should overthink your day, but I do think having clarity and specificity around what you're going to do. Imagine 2 people. One person knows what time. We'll just stay on the gym because we've been using the gym, or exercise. One person goes to sleep on Sunday night and they know what time they're going to exercise on Monday. The other person goes to sleep Sunday night and they have no idea what time they're going to exercise on Monday. I would bet on the first person 100% of the time to be more consistent. Just because life is going to happen. If anything is consistent in life, it is the inconsistency of it. Things are always going to pop up and pull you off, and sometimes priorities are going to jump to the top, and you're going to say, well, it would be better for me actually to do this than go do what I was going to do. So if we can follow through with some specificity, some clarity, some planning, I think that is a cheat code for a more consistent life.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda. I am a dental hygienist and a mom of 2 teenagers. I was first introduced to Kevin and Alan about 3 years ago. So that led me to book a consultation with Alan, and I showed up to that call in the lowest spot that I have been at in my entire life. He is a good human that genuinely wants the best in your life, your future, your love, your relationships, your wealth, and if you have the chance to be in the same room or on the same call or have these 2 in your life in any way, then you are blessed.
If you're overscheduled, your life will be mayhem and you won't be able to execute, and you'll constantly feel like you're failing. If you're underscheduled, you're going to be off the rails and inconsistent. And so you got to find your own sweet spot. Emilia and I recently were talking about calendar stuff, and she is always trying to help me come up in my calendar. She's been using a calendar since she was like 11. I didn't start using a calendar until really college. And even then it was loose calendar. It's like class from this time to this time. I may or may not attend that class unless it's a test. But anyways, so she's always like, well, should we put that on the calendar? And I'm always kind of pushing back. The amount of things on my calendar is already overwhelming me. I look at her calendar and it's too much for me. It's fine for her. She knows what it all means. She knows all the color. It's all color coded. It's excellent. I'm not taking anything from that. That's great. I'll get there. But we can't jump 10 rungs on the ladder and then expect me to be able to keep climbing. So we're constantly figuring out what the right amount of scheduling is for me. And I think we all need to find the sweet spot of enough structure, certainty, clarity, calendar, and then enough flow and spontaneity and variety. I think a lot of people, myself included, when I first started on this journey, when I was 27, I was coached. And my coach, I saw her calendar and I was like, I don't want that. That looks terrible to me. That looks awful. Now my calendar looks a lot like that. But at the time, what I really couldn't articulate, but what the truth was, is I'm not ready for that yet. I got to work my way up to that. So if you coach with me and you see my calendar and it freaks you out, that's okay. It's kind of supposed to. You're not supposed to just jump to that. You're supposed to consistently and sustainably, incrementally improve over time. And so if it freaks you out to have, 620 days in a row of exercise, that's okay. That's not where I started. For years, I struggled to exercise consistently. Years and years and years and years and years. So the key here is to find your own sweet spot between the right amount of clarity and structure and the right amount of variety and spontaneity.
We did an episode a while ago, the 2 Ds of consistency, discipline and design. Discipline is doing what you know you should do when you know you should do it, regardless of whether or not you want to. And then design is making it easier to be disciplined. So discipline is the alarm clock goes off and you get up. Design is you put your alarm clock on the other side of the room, so you have to get up to turn the alarm off. I would say you are on the high end of both of those. So maybe if none of that appeals to you, Alan's life, don't worry. It does not mean you can't be wildly successful in your own right just because Alan is on the higher end of that. I definitely get sick of the alarm clock going off at 5 a.m. every day. It's like, I want some variety, but I also love it. There's young Kev inside saying, why don't you just sleep in, dude? But then there's grown Kev who says, wow, you're not really going to be fulfilled if you sleep in. I know initially it sucks getting out of bed, but when you get rolling, you're always grateful you did. Maybe do more of that. And then eventually, sometimes it gets to the place where I didn't want to take a week off. I really didn't. I wanted to go to the gym and I wanted to go to jiu-jitsu, but there was a part of me that said, I think it's probably best if you don't go do those 2 things. I could have had more of a let's meet in the middle and maybe I'll go for a run, or maybe I could go do cardio, or I could find something to do. I didn't do that. I could have. So even in that, you can always be more specific and more dialed in and more focused. But I would argue my next level nugget would be, if you are craving certainty, it might be because you have too much uncertainty, too much variety. If you are craving variety, it could be because you're riding the lightning too much on having just regimented certainty, specifics, clarity all the time. Maybe doing a little deload quickly, right? Alan has his movie night. I'll have my UFC night. That can help. Or find variety in the certainty. So variety of, we're going to get sushi instead of pizza. That's variety in the certainty of, well, we're going to order out. So there's many ways to stack this.
Definitely. And all of us have different size cups when it comes to certainty and variety. Some people need more certainty than variety. Some people need more variety. So there's a lesson in that too. My next level nugget is don't fall victim to all or nothing. I keep ping-ponging between 20 minutes of learning and 30 minutes of learning on my habit tracker. And I keep switching it back to 20 minutes because I keep getting half. We do, on the app, we do green, yellow, red. Green means you did all of it. Yellow means you did some of it. Red, you did none of it. And 0, 1, or 0.5 for people who are using Google Sheets, which our team is on Google Sheets. We have a dashboard. And so I kept getting 0.5s because I I don't shower for a full half hour, and I usually do my learning in the shower. So I'll throw my phone on a book or a speech or a training or whatever. And then I'll just, usually it's 20 minutes, not even, while I get dressed and all that. And so the all or nothing mentality was getting to me, where if I don't do the full 30 minutes, I'm not going to do it at all. And so what I did is I switched it to 20 minutes, and I'm way more consistent now because of that all or nothing mentality. So it's almost like set the goal in alignment with what you're most likely to do, and then go up from there once it gets easy. So one more tiny example, Emilia and I do 30 minutes minimum per day of either a walk or weight training or soccer or basketball, whatever sport, whatever moving of our body. Last night, Sunday night, 8:30 p.m., the last thing I want to do is be in the gym. I was in the car, and there's that moment in the parking lot of like, honestly, fuck this. And I'm not even kidding. I actually said those exact words. That's my exact words.
I believe it.
Fuck this. And she's like, I know. And I'm like, okay, are we doing 45? She's like, no. So we went grocery shopping. Hannaford's right there. And we got food, put it in the car. That's the one good thing about winter is you can put food in the car, leave it in the car. Groceries. And then we did a half hour. We got the half hour done, and she said one of her gratitudes before we went to bed. We do gratitudes. And she said, I'm so grateful I have someone else who can hold the line, because in those moments when you don't want to do it, you just buck up and you just do it. You do the minimum. So my next level nugget, long-winded, is have a minimum and make sure the minimum is sustainable, where you can check the box and say, yes, I showed up. And then if we're feeling good, sometimes this happens. The other night, she's like, let's do an hour. It's like, awesome. Empty gym, feeling good. Let's rock. But at least we hit our minimum every day. So hopefully that's helpful.
Next Level Nation. If you have not yet joined our private Facebook group, Next Level Nation, please do so. I think we've had, I don't know, I told Alan, I've been talking about it pretty much every episode because I realize we have so many things. There's book club, and there's meetups, and there's group coaching, and there's just so many things. Free courses, paid courses, all this stuff. Events, retreats, Next Level Hope Foundation. I am going to just talk about Next Level Nation for the foreseeable future, because maybe you're just listening to us for the first time. I think that's probably the next best step for you anyway, because most of us want more community, more aligned people in our lives. So if you have not yet, please join our private Facebook group, Next Level Nation. Link will be in the show notes below, as always.
If you join Next Level Nation, at the very top, there's always a calendar post featured. And so November's up there right now, so you can see everything else we're doing for all of November. So the calendar's always in Next Level Nation if you're curious about all the other stuff. Speaking of the featured post, there's one other featured post right now. It is a poll for book club.
Oh boy.
The 5 books are High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard, Indistractable by Neri Al, Flip the Switch by Michael Burt. That did get a vote. Nice. One vote for Michael. It wasn't. No, High Performance Habits for me. The Courage to be Disliked. I don't know how to pronounce these authors' names, so I apologize if I do them wrong. Ichiro Kashimi and Fumitaki Koga. Your Erroneous Zones by Wayne Dyer. And those are the 5 books. Right now we have 24 votes, technically 25, because one of the people messaged me in WhatsApp because they're not on Facebook. But please vote.
What's winning? Don't leave me hanging. I voted for The Courage to be Disliked.
High Performance Habits is currently winning. And actually, I just realized in this moment, this is dropping tomorrow. So most likely, High Performance Habits has won. Get your book.
Damn.
We're not certain, but most likely.
I'm going to have to I'm going to make another Facebook account and vote for The Courage to be Disliked.
You're going to have to. But the person that voted outside of Facebook also asked for High Performance Habits, so that's going to most likely win. So if you want to join book club on Saturday, get your High Performance Habits book as soon as possible. You can get it on Amazon. I prefer hard copy. It's an awesome book, and we're super pumped.
Tomorrow, for episode number 1521, why a lot of us end up feeling stuck. Do I know what we're going to talk about? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Anything you want to add?
That's an awful lot of clarity and certainty for our listeners.
Well, I'm all about consistency, as you know. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay consistent. Next Level Nation.